What's going on, guys? I want to come back and start doing some of these videos. So today I want to talk about a movement, a very underrated movement that I think a lot of people should be doing, especially before we get into any of the loaded hinging motions, such as a deadlift, an RDL, kettlebell swings, movements of that nature, just so you can understand the difference between a hinge and a squat. So today's movement is a good morning. Number one, if you're doing it and you experience any kind of low back discomfort, obviously back off. There are a lot of different movements that you can start from there. Maybe you scale back to doing bridges on the ground, or even back to the absolute basics of just learning a pelvic tilt and understanding. So that's number one. Number two, I would never start with any kind of weight on your back or weighted vest, or really any kind of weight in this hinge motion until you perfect it. And what do I mean by perfecting it? You want to almost create that muscle-mind connection with your hamstrings right into your mind while you're doing the motion, and then obviously as you get into that full hip extension, you want to learn how to use your glutes. That's why I mentioned going back to maybe a bridge on the ground, just so you can focus on engaging and feeling that muscle-mind connection with your glutes, okay? So number one, with the good morning, what I like to do, just so you get a little bit more lengthening, you're getting more of a stretch in the back of your legs, and then you're also going to work more balance. Now, if you can't do this, you'll just set up a little bit further with your feet, but I want to start with my feet together, right? Because now all of a sudden, we're going to start to teeter over right to left, and that's going to work your balance, and that's also going to obviously work your core. From here, what I like to tell people, two different things. Cross the arms with your first good morning. Don't worry too much about keeping a straight back in the beginning. As you start going through it, and especially if you have weight on your back, that's when you want to start to think about keeping a nice straight back. But when you're just feeling it body weight and you're trying to understand it, it's actually okay for you to be somewhat flexed in order for you to feel that stretch in the back of your leg. I think a lot of people try to be too extended, and then you're feeling more of a stretch in your low back. So don't even worry too much about this torso. What I would suggest is just almost pretend someone's punching your belly. So this way, you're bracing your core. Cross the arms forward, feet together. And now I want you to slightly bend your knees, and you're just gonna kind of fall forward. In the gym, I always tell people, almost pretend you're nose diving forward. You're about to dive into the water. Fall forward, and then as soon as you feel that stretch all through the back of your leg, you're gonna push. Now this is another misconception. People tell to push through the heels. I'm gonna highly suggest heels, midfoot, big toe, all the toes are driving through the ground. You're kind of clenching your feet into the ground, and then you're squeezing your butt on the way up. And you wanna make sure you stand all the way up. Another piece, people try to arch. They try to get that full extension. You don't have to arch all the way back. Again, that's gonna put pressure on the low back. Just come up so you're into a straight, almost like you're a pencil. Squeeze the butt, and then nose dive, right back down. Clench those feet into the ground and drive yourself up. So that's just your body weight good morning. Once you perfect that, I would try to get you into more of a prisoner stance. So you're here, so now you're starting to get ready for the barbell, and now you're starting to work on keeping the back a little bit more straight. This would be step number two, and then from there, number three would actually be a progression to a band. You would take the band, wear it around your neck like your Flavor Flav, put your feet through, and then hold on to the band almost like you have overalls on. It'll hinge down, and then bring yourself up. I just tell people to hold it like you have overalls on, just so it's not putting pressure on your neck, not digging into your skin, and especially for the ladies, you have long hair, so obviously make sure you flip that through, and then you can go right into that motion. Yes, I do understand what that's like because I had long hair one time. So, most importantly, barbell movement. Who should be doing this? Athletes should be doing it, but another misconception that I always hear, you gotta load it up, especially when I take a look at maybe strength and conditioning programs from kids who come back from college. They always have like 135-pound good mornings. I even had a kid who came in here who went to high school, and his high school coach wanted him to be able to do good mornings with 135. I understand you want your athletes to have a strong posterior chain, but if they're not able to get the form down perfect, it's not going to actually recruit those muscle groups. So for here, with the good morning, my own suggestion, you guys do whatever you want. This is just my own advice. I like to grab a little bit wider than I typically would for a barbell back squat. Barbell back squat, I like to go nice and close. Here, I'm gonna go a little bit wider on that bar. And then I'm gonna actually set it up almost right in the middle of my shoulder blade. So I'm actually setting up in a little bit more of a low barbell back squat. And again, feet together, and then I'm just hinging down. Squeeze the butt. This is gonna make the shoulders work a little bit more, but the reason I like the low bar as opposed to a high bar, as you start to hinge down, the barbell starts to dig into your neck and that whole upper cervical, thoracic area, and it feels really uncomfortable. So you put it a little bit lower on your back. As you hinge down, it's almost like you're trying to balance weight on the mid-back. It puts a little bit more of a strain on the shoulders and the lats. And then you just bring it back up, roll it up, safely, put it down. And that is your barbell good morning. With a lot of athletes who come into the gym, whether it's soccer players, wrestlers, football players, basketball players, we do sometimes do the good mornings. When we do them, what I'm trying to say is start with lighter weights, okay? Don't be embarrassed to do body weight good mornings. It's an awesome exercise. It's a great muscle-mind connection. I hope that this video helps you. If you have any questions, please leave a comment in the comment section. And if you haven't done so, give me a subscribe. Definitely helps. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.